He didn't start the game. We didn't see him until the second possession. He played 35 plays out of 81. Troutman played 42. We saw more Adam Troutman than Evan Engram. Even when they went three wides, sometimes it was Troutman in and not Ingram. I don't know why. I mean, they have different personnel groupings. Sometimes they like the bigger tight end in there. But we're seeing more Troutman than Ingram. Is it because he was hurt the week before? They're just, taking their time with them. Atkins played 34 plays, just one less than Evan Engram. When they go two tights, it is Atkins and Troutman. So we're not really seeing a lot of two tights with Evan Engram. Every now and then we'll see a play or two with him in there. And we, like I said, we didn't see him until the second possession. And even in three wides early, it was Adam Troutman. The first pass to him was just a keeper, got him in the flat. It was thrown late to him, and that's when he stepped out of bounds. Bo just hit him a little bit earlier. He was waiting to, again, that was what we talked about the week before. You got a guy open, give it to him early, let him go try to make a play. Don't wait for the big play or the touchdown to open up. If you see the guy open, get it to him and get 4 or 5 yards, especially in the red zone, and move on a little bit late. Next play was the fake to the running back, hit him in the flat, good play. He almost scores on it in the right flat there, got down to, I think, the 2-yard line. He caught a drag route for minimal gain, just going from the left to the right. He dropped a flat route 2 plays later, which is, just a 2 or 3 yard straight to the sideline route. He dropped that. You will see them try to flex him out. I mean, we talked about Joker. I'm tired of Joker. I am. I'm tired of that word. It's driving me crazy. You're talking about a hybrid type of player. They'll move him all over the football field. Sometimes he'll be all the way in tight. Sometimes he'll be in the slot. Sometimes he'll be outside. And sometimes he'll be outside by himself. We saw him flex him out by himself. So he still runs really good, still looks fast on the film. He runs good routes. I like, he still gets in and out of his breaks very well. They threw him a screen later in the game. Nice job, run after the catch, got vertical. So I'm watching him, and I think that I'm hoping that and against a defense like that where they're kind of playing a shell type of coverage, trying to keep stuff in front of them, maybe that matchup wasn't the best for him coming off of an injury. Sean's trying to figure out how to use him, how best to use him and highlight him and get him involved. And I'm hoping that we'll see his impact as we move forward, that everybody becomes a little bit more comfortable with each other. But when I look at his game, he's still got it. It's still there. It is. He's got to stay healthy, but he moves really well. Maybe a little bit more consistent with his hands because we did see a drop. But I'm not down on Evan Engram at all. Not down on him at all. Hadn't been the start that we all hoped. But you do see them moving him around a little bit, trying to get better matchups and take advantage of those matchups. So hopefully as we progress, we'll see more of an impact from Ingram.
I guess the biggest reaction I have to your great breakdown is not so much the production, right? I mean, a lot of it could just be he and Bo just haven't found that connection yet. I think the thing that jumps out at me is why the low usage. Why only 43% of the snaps? Why out of 81 plays run is he only out there for 35 of them? If he's moving well and you don't see a guy who is still clearly affected by any kind of injury, if he's moving well, if he's running good routes, why is he not being used?
Well, I think when, he has certain packages that he's in. A 3-wide package, right? Troutman also has a 3-wide package. You have a 2 tight end package, and most of the time they're going 2 tight end package, they're going with Troutman and Atkins. Sometimes he'll be in there in a certain 2 tight end package. I just think that you're not going to see Evan Engram play 50 plays a game.
But Brock Bowers isn't limited to certain packages. Well, Sam Laporta isn't limited to certain packages. And I'm not saying Evan Engram is as good as those guys, but come on, let's face it. When they signed him and the early days that Sean was talking about him, maybe I was wrong in reading it this way, but I got the sense that this guy was he's just out there. He is not package specific. He's out there because he's that much of an impact player.
No, I mean, Evan Ingram's not a blocking tight end. He's a pass-catching, pass-receiving tight end. So he's not going to be out there the majority of the snaps. I mean, Brock Bowers is a little bit of do-it-all. Laporta, same thing. Kelsey and those guys, Kittle. That's not how he profiles. So you want to use him to his strengths, and I think that's what they're doing. So, and that's how Sean Payton operates with these guys. They're going to be in and out of the lineup. It's just the way it's going to be. You're going to try to use him to his strengths, and his strengths is, in the passing game, catching the ball, not blocking. So I don't know. I think some games you'll see his usage higher, and other games you're going to see it lower, depending on what the defense is doing. And it's like I said, still early in the season. I'm not overreacting to the slow start at all. Missed last week because of a injury, first game back, and they're all trying to figure things out here. And he's in a new place. But as far as just watching him run routes, get in and out of his breaks, what he does after the catch, I like what I've seen. And I think if he can stay healthy, he's going to help the Broncos out this year. He's going to be a positive. I know you wanted to see more from him early on. I just think the expectations probably from a lot of people maybe blown out of proportion, because you hear Joker, next thing you know, we're thinking that, oh my gosh, it's going to be 7-8 catches a game from him. I tried to warn you about that.
I'll gladly put my hand up.
I know I tried to warn you.
Well,
when we set his expectations up, but I think we will start to see him hopefully highlighted a little bit more in how they use him as we move forward. Still early.
Okay. There's a difference, though, between I thought we were getting our Brock Bowers at tight end. Okay, that probably is unfair, but I think it's safe to say I don't think Broncos country, when they signed Evan Engram and all the hype that went with the signing, felt that we were looking at a guy that was going to be package specific or game plan that week specific, that he would kind of be above all that. And
but he doesn't block very well, so we're not going to have him on the field blocking at all. Very limited.
We're back to this again. We're back to the idea that our pass-catching tight end has to be able to block too. Come on.
No, I don't want him to block, but it's, Mike, if you go in two tight ends, if you're trying to – we ran the ball a lot last week. So you want him in the game for that? I'd rather him not. Do you see what I'm saying? You're not going to put him in that situation.
Is he that much of a liability as a blocker?
That's just not his strengths. So I'm not going to put him in that situation. I want someone that does it better than him. But they did have a play where he was in there in two tights and he did run block. It's fine. He's going to give you effort. He's not very big. He's got a wide receiver body playing tight end. You don't want to put him in that situation very often. Every now and then you have to, because you have to set other things up. You can't, every time he's in the game, just throw the ball. But I think, Sean tries to use his guys to their strengths. And, I just think maybe your expectations were out of whack a little bit, thinking that he was going to be that guy that played almost every snap.
Yes, I will. I will admit
fine.
that was my expectation.
Just adjust it a little bit.
I have to adjust. I have to lower my expectations for Evan Engram.
And you also got to remember, they didn't give this guy, they're not paying him $25 million a year. So he's on the tail end of his career here. Right? I think we all realize that he can still produce, but his days are becoming shorter and shorter. Is that not how you view? He's in his 30s as a tight end.
I guess so. All I'm telling you is that on this day, October 1st, our conversation surrounding Evan Engram is vastly, vastly different than those heady, buzz-filled days after they had just signed him. Boy, the conversation around him has changed dramatically.
I don't want this to be a negative. I don't want what I did to be seen as a negative on it, because I'm still very positive and optimistic about what it's going to look like. I think he's going to help this football team out, but I don't think you're going to see him playing 55 snaps a game. Some games he might play 50, But other games he might play 15 or 20, just depending on what it looks like,
Okay.
Mike.
I just sorry, I wasn't.
And what the other team's doing to try to what the other
wasn't
team's
expecting
playing.
that.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting
I'm
that.
sorry.
And you
look
were back
disappointed.
right after. I am disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, I am.
Okay. I mean,
But listen, I value your opinion. I value the way you break this down. And if this is the way we have to look at Evan Engram moving forward, okay, I and others, I guess, out there will adjust their expectations. But I got to admit that, when they signed him and we were talking about, wow, Evan Engram, did you see the year he had in 2023 when he had 114 catches for 963 yards and 4 touchdowns? That's the guy that was being sold to us. And I can't imagine that Evan Engram in 2023, who was targeted 143 times and caught 114 balls, was only out there for 35% of the snaps. Or, 43% of the snaps. 35 snaps in a game. I can't believe that.
well, I mean,
Maybe you should go back and look at every Evan Engram game in 2023.
Oh, all of his catches every game.
All of his targets.
All of his targets.
All of his
yes,
routes.
I'll get on that
All
ASAP.
right. Good.
The guy is drunk.
Time for 4